The Punisher is back, and in one last kill, nothing is safe. You think you caught everything? A non-stop storm of calculated carnage, psychological collapse, and hidden detail packed into every single frame. Here are 12 insane details you probably missed. 1. Danzig's mother is a direct warning. The second this special opens, Glenn Danzig's mother hits. And it's not background music. It's Frank Castle's message to the Nucci family delivered before a single punch lands. Mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Ma Nucci's children walked Frank's way. Every single one of them.
52 is Ma Nucci, the crime family matriarch whose children Punisher killed when they walked his way. But really the lyrics are about the dangers of trying to shield and overprotect your children from the world. So Frank is also saying, hey, maybe if you had let your shitty kids hear my warning sooner, we wouldn't be in this.
But dig deeper into what that song actually means. Danzig wrote it as a challenge to parents who overprotect their kids from the world's darkness. Frank isn't just threatening the Nuccis, he's saying their mother's blind loyalty built the monsters he had to kill. On Disney Plus, of all platforms, that lyric choice is a statement. The darkness in this special was never accidental. 2. The kill wall and the bleeding hands. Frank's apartment in Little Sicily is wallpapered with targets, maps, police fingerprints, and red X's through the faces of every criminal he's hunted. But this isn't the same wall from Born Again. This is a new obsession in a new location, and it tells you exactly where Frank's head is. 41 pull-ups on a bar until his hands bleed and he drops, shirtless, bleeding, staring at a wall of death. The Catholic imagery is loud here. Rosaries on his family's gravestones, blood on his palms, a man suffering under the weight of something he cannot put down.
But we know by those rosaries on his family's gravestones that this man is Catholic, and I'm getting some major vibes of Christ on the cross here. We hear Frank grunting with every pull-up until he grunts.
He's one pull-up short of 42. Douglas Adams' answer to life, the universe, and everything. Frank Castle has no answers. He has painkillers, bourbon, and a puke bucket he already knew he'd need. 3. The PTSD hallucinations and the Marine Creed. When Frank recites the Marine Corps Recon Creed, the ghosts arrive. Curtis Hoyle, Jason R. Moore returning, materializes alongside 2 former Marines, all of them standing in judgment. This is one of the most accurate portrayals of PTSD you'll see in superhero content. Trauma forcing you to relive the memory emotionally, not just visually.
It's bullshit, right?
Frank, I was never equal. Father, daddy, husband. It was a costume. I couldn't wait to get back where it made sense. You failed them. You failed them. You fucking failed them.
I know all the things I've said. It's all to help you, brother.
Where are you?
Failure!
Failed your family and now you're failing the city.
Coward!
Frank then takes a blade and carves a red X into the Marine Corps tattoo on his chest. The same X he crossed through every target on his wall. He's marking himself as done. What makes this sequence devastating is Curtis's real response. Whatever you need from me, I am right here. Frank built a hallucination to judge him, and the real man shows up to hold him instead. 4. The Nucci crime family. Comics accuracy.
My family was taken. My entire family, Frank. You took everything I had. But you forgot about me.
The Nucci family comes straight from Garth Ennis's Welcome Back, Frank run. Ma Nucci in the comics ends up losing all 4 limbs after a polar bear attack in Central Park Zoo. The wheelchair and her deteriorated arm in this special are a direct visual nod to that. Her children, Benny, Bobby, an NYPD lieutenant who solved crimes by eliminating his family's rivals, Eddie and Carlo. She places a bounty on Frank timed to hit at 6:47. a building full of assassins closing in at once.
Deaths of the notorious Nucci crime family, violence and tension fill the streets of Little Sicily as a power vacuum has left the neighborhood vulnerable. Reports link former veteran turned vigilante Frank Castle, aka the Punisher, as the main culprit behind these murders, after it was alleged that the Nuccis were one of the last criminal organizations linked.
And the truly sinister detail? She defends Carlo while Frank listens with controlled fury. Whatever the rumor said, I knew he never touched a single one of those kids. The cycle of denial that creates monsters is sitting right in front of Frank in a wheelchair, and he lets her finish. 5. Little Sicily's power vacuum. Little Sicily isn't a real New York neighborhood. Production used Queens, specifically around 118th and Myrtle, but what it represents is real. Frank eliminated the Nucci family, and without that criminal enforcement keeping the block locked down in fear, chaos erupted.
Talk to me.
The AVTF's collapse accelerated it. Listen to the locals in that news segment. When everybody's afraid to rob and steal, things are cool. The neighborhood preferred the mafia to anarchy. Frank's justice created a wound he didn't plan for, and the entire second half of this special is him bleeding for it.
Confirming that Frank Castle lives in this neighborhood. So this is followed by Dennis screaming. Like many people you hear shouting on the street, he's not wrong. The killers sent by Ma will be in the walls coming for Frank. This is followed by this amazing long tracking shot of Frank ignoring the street violence around him, committed by, yeah, that's Mickey's gang there. And then a big dude.
6. Johnny, Camo, and Radio Man. Before a single assassin shows up, this special breaks you with a veteran and his dog. Johnny, USMC hat, Marine Corps pins, whistling from the halls of Montezuma, gets his hat stolen and watches Camo get thrown in front of a truck by Mickey. Stolen valor and a murdered dog on the same block where Frank Castle lives. That's a death sentence dressed as a street crime. And in the background, keep your eyes open for Craig Castaldo, Radio Man, a real unhoused New York legend who cameos in productions all over the city. He shows up twice in this special, which strongly suggests both scenes were filmed the same day on the same Queens block. 7. Improvised weapons and tactical realism. The action in One Last Kill earns its brutality through specificity. Frank reloads between every engagement. He picks up weapons from the assassins he kills, tracks his rounds, and runs dry when the math says he should.
In the scene, we hear Dre asking about a blue pen.
Jeffrey, where's my blue pen? Why is it not in the bathroom?
Because it's behind your ear, Andre.
This blue pen comes back in Frank's final fight as the weapon he uses to repeatedly stab the biggest assassin.
The blue pen that Dre asked about earlier in the donut shop. Jeffy, where's my blue pen? Comes back as the weapon Frank uses to end the biggest assassin in the building, that donut cart. The axe he flips to kill 2 men simultaneously. This is Chekhov's armory. Every mundane object introduced earlier becomes a kill instrument. John Wick rebuilt action cinema around this principle, and Frank Castle's entire existence runs on it. 8. The hallucinations of Karen and Lisa Karen Page showing up as a hallucination.
There's some more for you to do. What time is it?
Karen Page showing up as a hallucination is the detail that rewards closest attention. She isn't dead. Frank is pulling a living woman into his PTSD spiral because his mind needs someone from the present to anchor the mission. And notice what she says. Language about coming home from deployment, going back out, leaving the people who loved him, things Karen never actually witnessed.
You scared, Frank? You're not a victim, you chose it.
Frank's trauma is rewriting memory, merging Maria's voice with Karen's face, because he needs the message delivered by someone he can't dismiss as a ghost. When he asks, "Are you here, Karen? Are you with me?" That's not a love confession. That's a man begging his own mind to give him permission to keep going. 9. The family graves and the locked weapons.
Here at his family's graves, we see the headstones of his son, Francis David Castle, may his memory be eternal, Lisa Barbara Castle, always loving, always loved. We see a Swiss Army knife by hers, and then his wife Maria Elizabeth Castle. By her grave, Frank sets the key to his gun bag by a shot class for the Burren Club. The Burren Club was the bar where Frank scored vengeance against the Kitchen Irish in the Daredevil Season 2 premiere episode from 2016.
Frank leaves the key to his armory at Maria's grave and enters the 6:47 kill window with only whatever weapons his attackers bring. He never planned to survive. As Lisa's memory echoes through 1 batch, 2 batch, penny and dime, Frank breaks down at her grave. The moment hits even harder because young Lisa is played by Addie Bernthal, John Bernthal's real daughter. 10. The 100 kill count, exactly 100 kills. That number is not a coincidence. Someone on this production sat down and built the action sequences to hit that number precisely on Mickey's execution. Frank did it without his personal weapons. Every kill improvised from what the Nucci assassins carried into his building. That's the real gut punch of the title One Last Kill. It was never about the last kill in the special. It was about the one kill Frank couldn't justify himself, and the final kill that actually meant something. Mickey, for Camo, for Johnny, for every person this block chewed through while Frank was locked in his own head. 11. The Skull Reclamation. Frank emerges from the carnage with a freshly repainted skull on his chest, a high and tight haircut, and a trimmed beard. This is the Frank Castle from the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. The psychological reset is visual and deliberate. The AVTF spent an entire season wearing that skull as a badge of fascist overreach. Corrupt cops appropriating a symbol of Frank's grief and turning it into an authoritarian logo. Back isn't just personal branding, it's contempt made physical. The Punisher's skull belongs to one man's war, and that war has a new front. 12. The heroic choice that changes everything. Frank choosing to chase. Charlie's scream over killing Nucci shows a shift. His violence now protects rather than only punishes. This instinct threads through his care for Lisa, Charlie, and likely Sadie Sink's Jean Grey. Redirected, not softened, this makes him the most dangerous version yet. "100 kills, 0 answers, and the Punisher is just getting started." On the surface, it's a brutal action story packed with some of the most violent moments we've ever seen in the MCU. But underneath all the blood and chaos, this is really a story about a man trying to escape who he is, and failing. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.